she's just speaking facts. They would be done. Yeah. That whole thing was so messy. And like, that's Love Island.
Hello and welcome to Love Island the morning after. We are in the final week and we're soaking up the last bits of gossip in the villa. I'm Indiyah Polack.
And I'm Amy Hart, and joining us once again, we have the wonderful Ali and G.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
What did you think of last night's episode? It was a rocky one for Tommy and Jessy, wasn't it?
That was a proper sob from Jessy. She really didn't take that well, bless her. I feel like it was like all on Scott and then suddenly it was like, vroom, on Jessy.
It's very heavy. I'm getting heavy vibes.
Yeah, that was not a fun dinner.
No.
So Maya came in at the end of dinner to give some audience questions for the Islanders. Which one made you go, ugh, the most?
I feel like my deepest moment was Maya's question to Sammy regarding, okay, well, why didn't she tell Belle what Sophie had really said? Because it was quite a big statement, you know, and a lot of people were like, agreeing with Sophie. It was quite a big one, to be honest.
I don't actually think, I think when Belle watches it back, she will realise it's also not that deep.
100%, yeah.
Because I think that Sammy genuinely did mean, I didn't tell Belle just because, what's that going to do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think it was Belle that thought it was deep. I think it was Lucinda, because Lucinda had information withheld that kind of made her look better. So I think she was kind of like, wait, why wouldn't you say that to me?
Yeah.
It's the velocity of the pie, that's why.
Yeah. But you know what I think is more deep is the fact that obviously Bella's gone through this whole thing thinking that she's not really done anything wrong and Lucinda's done worse than her when she doesn't realise a fair few people think the other way around. So I feel like that what would sting most. If Belle
I
heard
love
it.
how Belle is she just sticks to her side. If it was anyone else, she'd be like, you should have told me. Sammy, she was like, thank you for not saying that in front of a group of people. It really means a
You're
lot to me.
so right. So poised. So didn't lose her head. Imagine if Scott would have said something like that. She would have been plates throwing. Yeah.
Wait, what was the question to Jessy and Tommy?
Maya asked Jessy and Tommy, Helena said in her Maya interview that Jessy was only with Tommy for
I think
airtime.
that was the deepest one.
Yeah. That was another big one to finish.
Well, because also, it's okay if you're sat at home and it's all finished and all done and, bish, bash, bosh, now you're watching it back on the telly, but to know that when you're still in there is really hard.
Yeah.
And also I think from Helena's point of view, you're just talking, aren't you? People are asking you questions and then suddenly it gets, clipped into a question and it sounds like she's just sat there and been like, I think that Jessy is only with Tommy for airtime.
Yeah.
Everything requires context.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there's no context given there.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll come to them later. But do you think Scott took it well when Leanne said if they were on the outside, then they'd be done? And that would be it.
I think he took it better
Red.
than usually.
Yeah.
Usually Scott always has something to say, or like he said, he's very logistical about things and he really overthinks. But I think he took it pretty quite well.
Yeah.
Also, it is facts.
Yeah.
She's just speaking facts. They would be done.
Yeah.
If that was that whole thing was so messy. And I think that's Love Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the outside world, she'd be able to literally block him on everything.
Yeah.
Unfollow.
You're so
and
right.
be able to just move on with her life. But he literally lives in the same villa that she does.
What are you going to do? And also she did have to watch him do the heart rate challenge and he did look good. So,
What are you going to do?
she's only human, Leanne. She is.
Exactly.
She's just a girl.
Just a girl. She's just a girl.
It was interesting with Belle. Obviously, the public said, are you only with Harrison because there's no other options? And Harrison was like, savage. Do we think she is?
Look, it's hard to say because there is no other option. And the time that Harrison did come in, who else would she have coupled up with?
Yeah.
So it can be said, it's a cop out. But again, look, they seem to be getting on. It seems to be going well.
And famously, he eats what she eats.
Right, exactly.
And
that's all she needs to know.
They know each other intimately.
Yeah, in a fully catered villa where everything is brought to you, they eat the same thing.
Shocking
Who
that.
knew?
Who knew?
Absolute shocker.
Then she just keeps piling on those chocolate love hearts. We'll love them.
love those.
It's funny with Belle and Harrison because Jessy is getting so much heat for picking Tommy as just an easy option to ride to the final. But I'm not saying that Harrison is that option because he probably hasn't got the popularity that Tommy's got. But Belle kind of has done the same. She is just with him because there is no one else. That kind of is facts.
But I think the difference is that everyone loves Tommy and not everyone loves Belle. So Tommy's a safe bet.
True.
Belle is not a safe bet.
Belle's a risky bet.
Harrison, if he was going to do a safe bet, should have actually picked
Cher.
Cher?
Yeah.
But then again, is Cher a safe bet because she's not popular that much amongst the girls.
Yeah.
And, you know, who you're friends in with there is
True.
quite
Yeah.
important, you know?
And also not very known to the public.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And also totally in love with Jack. So
But
as
then
we
maybe-
saw...
Amy, I don't think you're wrong, you know. I've been watching videos of them since they came out.
No, we had them on the podcast.
Did you think they were in love?
Chemistry.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
We were like, we were saying for days before, like, when are they going to break this off? When are they going to
We
break
were-
this off?
I-
And then
honestly, I'll put
we
my hands
ate our
up.
words.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure because
I
babe,
was
they
sitting
speak a
there.
language that we don't speak, the
No.
two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's defo a clip of me saying, wrap it up.
I don't know what she's speaking. She's like an alien from a different planet.
No.
She is so perfect. I've never
Yeah.
seen anyone more perfect.
Yeah.
Like, she's so poised.
But then when we spoke to them on here, laughing, joking, smiling.
Yeah.
From fire pit fallouts to fairy tales of love, another unforgettable series in the villa is coming to an end, which means it's time for one final debrief. The girlies delivered nothing but iconic energy. We saw standout pieces that have graced our screens before, the breathless red latex moment, Millie's unforgettable route and boa dress, and the sensational Mercy dress that had the whole villa talking. Our gorgeous girlies absolutely understood the assignment. And let's talk about the boys, because they were on fire this season. Y2K was heavily revived, with Kieran and Tommy both rocking the vintage Oakland Athletics bomber jacket. Proof that Love Island and pre-loved aviator jackets go together real good. From first impressions to final moments, what a series this was. Pre-loved has told its own love story this winter. Find your perfect fit on eBay, proud sponsors of Love Island All-Stars. Back to people that are actually in the villa. If we had been the ones to choose the public questions, what would you have asked them?
Good. Okay, what would I have asked?
I think I would have said to Belle, like, do you regret going so hard on everything since you've spoken to
Fair.
people on the outside?
Yeah.
That's a good one. If I was going to go, not go for Jessy,
I
but
was
like
gonna
when
say
people
the
were
same.
aiming
Yeah.
things at Jessy, I probably would have been more likely to ask about the Lucinda thing than the Tommy thing. And I know it's Love Island and I know we need to drop the drama, but I'm just so intrigued to know what that was and to understand that.
What was that random outburst?
Please tell us. Yeah. Please do. 'cause-
I might have asked Jessy, do you think something about like, because I feel like everyone's talking about like her before her dad and after her dad. And
Yeah.
I would have said something like,
Before
do you think talking to your dad changed your behaviour? It's like something about like, did that basically ground you to realise that you were moving mad?
Yeah, I think they all needed that parent chat. To
Yeah.
be honest, 'cause they were.
They
Do you know what
were.
I mean, they were all moving a bit,
They're moving
a
mad.
bit
Yeah.
much, and they
Yeah.
needed their parents to come and tell them off and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
remember you're on television?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
India, what would
Yeah.
you have asked?
Oh, I don't know. You know, I feel like again, a lot of the questions I feel like they're not obvious, but it's just sort of like they're drama-led questions where it's like even that question you've suggested, it's gonna be a yes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
of course my dad calmed me down.
Yeah.
Of course I've calmed down.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what would we really ask?
I would have said to Harrison something like, you know, do you wish you'd come in earlier and had more people to choose from?
Oh, that is good.
That is a good one.
Because
yeah.
obviously he would definitely have wished he'd come in earlier.
Yeah.
But to have more people to choose
More
from.
options.
You could also
Or-
say to Jessy, actually.
Yeah, you could say if you'd have both been in from the start, who
Who-
would have been your dream
Yeah.
person to couple
Yeah,
up with?
or like if everyone else wasn't coupled
if
up,
everyone was single.
who would you pick right now? Like, who would you pick?
I think the only way to make this sort of challenge fair would be to team up with the old lie detector test.
Obviously.
Because I feel
Oh,
like
I
everyone
miss
just
the lie
goes,
detector
yeah,
test.
yeah, obviously I would, like, if I never was in from day one, it always would have been you.
Yeah.
What's the law on the lie detector test?
What do you mean?
I don't
Where's it
know.
gone?
Like, why do they not do that anymore?
Just
don't
like to
know.
switch it up, you know? Yeah.
I miss it deeply.
Yeah.
I think that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it's not real and not legally binding.
Yeah.
But causes a lot of drama, so we love it.
Do we think now, obviously, given all those questions, the Islanders are quite aware about what the public think of them? And, you know, moving forward, do you think we're going to see a change in everyone's behaviour? You know, like if they're now starting to think they are maybe fan favourites or not so much fan favourites?
Yeah, I do. And I think Jessy's reaction like really proves that. And I think even like everyone who got like 50-50 answers or like 60-40, 70-30, like there was a majority in every single question. And like as we were saying yesterday, even if it was 1%, you would literally lie awake thinking about that 1%. Like it's hard. I obviously I've never been in the villa, but I can imagine it's really hard when you're like living in this bubble and your reality is your reality. And then you hear stuff like that and you're like, oh wait,
And it pops in.
yeah. So yeah, I do. I actually do think they will.
Also, it's really really hard, I guess, not to be aware of that and to think, oh my God, maybe we are really liked, maybe we are doing really well, and what we believe to be true in here, other people are seeing. And I feel like even if it's not from like a gameplay point of view of like, oh, maybe we can win it, it's of a like, oh, okay, this might be real.
Do you think people will be moving differently? Behaving differently?
You know what? Probably. You know, there's only a few days left, but I think also it's that confidence boost, isn't it? Like if you are doing well, then, you know, don't shoot yourself in the foot, because we do see that, you know, you get favourite boy, favourite girl, and then some people start getting a bit too ahead of themselves. But I think in these nice final days, it's just a bit of a confidence boost to know that, look, what I'm doing is right. And it's what I'm doing, you know?
Or not.
Or not.
Poor Tommy and Jessy.
But you are what you are.
Yeah.
Talking of a couple that's potentially not going to work out, Jessy and Tommy, bless them. Now, Lucinda and Sean used their question to say that they would dump Tommy and Jessy. Like, I love Sean, but Tommy has been such a good friend to
Ride
Sean.
or die.
Agree. Completely
Do you
agree.
think that Sean should have said someone else?
I honestly think Sean could have said like Maya Jama, like genuinely anyone else, but his best mate in there.
I might have got this wrong, but I feel like Lucinda led the charge.
100%.
And I think
She did,
Sean is very like, stand by your woman, and like whatever Lucinda says goes. So I feel
agree.
like he just kind of didn't, like you could see him clock it when he was then speaking to his sister, like, I messed up last night. And I think in the moment it wasn't him being like, I'm going to pick my best mate. I think it was Lucinda said it, and then he just follows because he's like...
I agree with you. I think he was genuinely just agreeing with Lucinda, because I think, okay, take them out of the game, and if we were to ask Sean that question, do you want Tommy to go home? Or who would you choose to go home? He's not going to say Tommy.
No.
So I think, again, what he does best is defend Lucinda in public and then kind of speak to her
Also,
afterwards.
I was going to say, also, his options were probably to say Tommy and Jessy, who, you know, are going to be like, oh, well, it's sad that you think that. Or Belle and Harrison.
It's gonna
and then it all
blow.
starts all over
Fair.
again. So maybe actually it might have been a bit of a cop-out, but it's just like they're having a nice dinner. It's time to like, what peace can be kept should be.
And also the reasoning behind it. They aren't really doing that as a couple. Do you know what I mean? So I think Tommy could probably take the personal side of it away and look at like, you know, the logistics of it. It's like, okay, look, we're not really in a romantic couple.
I don't know, just like that's your best mate.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
like,
in that way.
also, I might have done it like, this is my thing about Sean, like, I actually fucking rate that he always backs Lucinda. Like, even if she said the sky was green, he'd be like, guys, obviously the sky is green. Like,
he would,
But that is your best mate. So I think that's the only instance kind of where you have to like scale it back a bit. Also, I might have picked someone like, I don't know, Millie and Zach and been like, oh lol, you guys are so strong, it doesn't matter if you go home anyway.
That's a good one. Also a cop-out, but good. A bit nicer.
That's kind of cop-out.
Yeah.
And you know that if he'd done that, we'd be sitting here being like, what a cop-out.
I can't believe it.
Why can these people give these cop-out answers all of the time? Now, Jessy was very upset, both at the table and then she went out to, I don't even know what the area is called. We've never seen it before.
Just a hallway.
Little cubby hole.
The cubby hole. Backstage cubby hole.
Yeah.
She went to that little cubby hole with the girls and was saying, you know, why am I even here? Everyone clearly hates me. I thought Helena was my friend. Now, Whitney says, if you can't deal with that, you're not built for this. Which, on your second Love Island series, I'm a bit like, well, clearly, like the fact that she hasn't retreated into like not being in public life clearly means that she's fine.
Yeah.
But also, do you think she was sort of diminishing her feelings a little bit?
I think had Jessy been like a level lower, like if we were talking like one single tear and a little bit sad, that comment actually kind of could have had the right effect. Like it might have been like, yeah, right, okay, I've got to have a thicker skin. But she was so devastated.
Heartbroken.
She was really sobbing. So in that moment, it felt like Whitney kind of didn't read the room. And like she was like, come on, fix up, look sharp. And Jessy's like quite literally on the floor. She can't get up. She's heartbroken. So yeah, I think it was too much for Jessy in that moment. She was too vulnerable to hear that.
I think Whit is like, you know, she's such a boss bitch, but sometimes that means that she doesn't, and I sympathise with her because I can, at my worst, be like this. And I think one thing I've learned, spending my life with G, who is so emotional, is that
Jessy.
like you have to let feelings just breathe. And when they come back around, then you can look them in the face and be like, pick yourself up. This is done. But in the moment, sis, I just honestly just let her cry.
It's like, you know, people go, well, you know what you signed up for.
You're not to know what that feels like until you feel it. Like she's not to know what it felt like to have her dad say that she was kind of like disappointing him. And then to have Tommy say that he doesn't really believe that, you know, she likes him. And then to have the public say she just wants a trip to the final, like that is quite a lot to be
That's
piled
a
on
triple
you.
whammy there.
Yeah.
A day off in between might have been nice.
She needed a bit of time out.
Yeah.
And also I think sleeping downstairs as well. Like I've been in a position where you're in a villa full of people. When just before I left, there was like 16 or 17 other people in the villa.
it's a
But I
lot.
felt so alone. And I was like, I didn't know where to sit. I didn't know what to do. And I feel like Jessy was sort of like that when she said, I'm going to go downstairs. And he said, oh, I'll go downstairs. And she said, no, I don't want people around me and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think she must feel really, really alone, which is like a
Well, also
horrible
you
thing to
feel
feel
like-
in a villa full of people.
Yeah.
No one understands you. Like in that moment when Whitney says that, I can imagine you feel like, but like what? Oh, like you don't understand me.
Yeah.
Like no one here understands what I'm feeling, and that is so lonely.
Yeah. I think as well, time goes so fast in there as well. So I think probably in like a bit of balance in here. In Whitney's defense, it's probably like, look, we're all going home soon. And I don't think it came from a bad place.
No.
It definitely wasn't from a bad place. I
no.
think it's probably in the moment, I think she could have waited a day. But I think she's probably also thinking, look, we've got to get on with this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you're going to walk,
Yeah.
we've got to pick it up and we've got to go.
Also,
you know?
what Whitney said isn't wrong.
No.
Because it's like, it's true. Like, there's some people that aren't cut out to like face that level of criticism. Like, it's a spotlight, it's a magnifying glass, and it's really hardcore. And some people, it does just wash off their back. Like, Lucinda's a really good example.
Oh, she's
of
great.
that.
Yeah.
It
She
just
is
comes
resilient.
in. She's
Yeah.
resilient.
Yeah.
It like bounces off her.
I wonder if Jessy's a Cancerian like me.
I think she could be.
Yeah. She could be.
I think you could be cut from the same cloth.
But the thing is, it's like in that situation, you have to sink or swim. So you decide.
You have to. And it's so easy to do either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you're
Course.
feeling sad, you know, people are like, it'll get better. And you're like, yeah. Thanks. Like, when?
Yeah.
I need to know exactly
Now,
when.
you know what? I do also think that, you know, it feels a little bit more heightened for Jessy because the comment was made by Helena. And obviously she's there saying, you know what, I thought Helena was my friend. And she's saying these like nasty comments. And I think it is quite a lot because you never know all
And
the time
also,
what people are saying about you.
She knows as well that Tommy really, really values
Tommy and Helena are
Helena's,
really close.
opinion.
Yeah.
And I
And
think
she already thought around the dinner table that Tommy was half believing it anyway. You know?
I feel like Tommy, because it is from Helena, is starting to believe it
Yeah.
a lot more. Do we honestly think that Jessy has no interest in Tommy whatsoever?
I think no is too strong.
I
I
agree.
think she
No
might
is
have
so
a little.
strong.
Yeah.
I think actually, if Tommy's really honest, like a bit what Kieran said to him, you know, you might also not be fully in. If someone else came in for her or for you, I think you'd both look the other way. I think they just haven't had enough time. But I do wonder now that he's spoken to his mum and she kind of said, we really like Jessy, and his brother said, you know, she's fit as fuck, which was odd, but great, true. Maybe he might start thinking, okay, I've got some approval of her.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll lean in.
I also think maybe if there hadn't been so much conversation around it, they might like actually like each other more because it's like if someone tells you not to look at the tree, all you do is look at the tree.
Yeah.
So it's like now all he can think is, wait, maybe she doesn't like me.
Yeah.
When actually maybe she does and he just now can't really see it for what it is.
Yeah, again, like a lot of outside noise sometimes does kind of get in the way of your relationship. If no one was talking about them, they'd probably be spending this time getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Also, she's
you
been
know?
distracted, hasn't she, our Jessy?
She's been distracted.
God bless, her head's not been in the game.
Yeah.
She's been thinking about anything
Yeah.
else but Tommy.
I mean, what do we think the future holds for Tommy and Jessy? Because, like, do we think either of them like each other, or is it just it's all a bit harsh and heavy right now?
I think they might volunteer to swap seats on the way home. You know, people are like, oh, I'd much prefer an aisle seat. And it's like, oh, I'll move, it's fine. Oh, we've got a child that needs to sit with its mum. Like, oh, yeah, no, it's fine,
That's
I'll go.
no problem. Yeah.
I
Tommy,
feel
you don't
like-
mind, do you? All
You know,
right.
it's like, I'll see you back in London. Have a nice flight.
one of
Night flight.
those.
Anyway, we're not going to talk, we're just going to sleep. So yeah, I'm not sure it's got legs. I think
Nor am I.
I think the best thing now would be for them to have a chat, maybe at their final date, be like, look, we've got a couple of days left. This is clearly not going anywhere. Let's just really enjoy it as a friendship. And
Yeah.
let's take something away from the villa and let's take a friendship away. They could have walked a couple of days ago, but you know, they finished up and they've got a lovely final date. I think they're right to have stayed, but I think they need to make it a friendship couple now and just enjoy the last few days.
Yeah, I like that.
So last night we saw some of the boys speaking to their friends. and their
Finally,
family.
justice for the boys.
It was really cute. I mean, it was a lot less dramatic in comparison to the girls. But I mean, what's everyone's thoughts? How did you find it?
I loved how like the girls had like some of their friends and
Yeah.
stuff, but the boys, a lot of them had their mums and their
Sisters.
sisters.
Yeah.
They had these really strong female figures in their lives who are then giving them advice on their relationships. And I thought it was such a lovely thing to do. Obviously, the ones that we saw were really, really nice. I think the ones that are tonight are slightly more dramatic from the preview. But yeah, I think it was really lovely for them all and like seeing them all get emotional and stuff.
That was so nice. So obviously not nice to see them emotional, but like obviously it was nice to see them, you know, be a bit more vulnerable. And I think, again, when it comes to the boys, a lot of their relationships in the villa at the moment, it's all been like from your villa mates and just like public opinion.
Yeah.
You need somebody that knows you inside out to actually just be like, look, this is what it is. And I saw that a lot with Scott.
Yeah.
You know, Scott speaking to his sister and then hearing that voice note from his mum. I think Scott, who is someone who is so logical, he needed somebody that knows him to be like, look, Scott, it's your sister.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what this
You
is.
like
you
her.
like her. Like, stop overthinking it. Stop listening to what the public think. Just go for it. But it was nice. I feel like, you know, they let their guard down a lot. And I think you could really see them just all go, after having that conversation, you know?
It's so funny having watched them all, like, as you say, in a pack of boys for the last 6 weeks. And then I think this is about every boy on the planet. When you see them around a strong female figure in their life, they are like different people. And they're like, you know, you just see that really like, you know, they become like kids almost. And it's nice to see that when all you've seen is them trying to like, you know, keep it together and maybe not to show too much emotion and like also amidst all the girl drama. I think it's really refreshing to see. Yeah.
And for them, I guess, to kind of have that like validation. I feel like the boys that we saw last night, they really needed that. Like Scott especially, but I think Kieran as well. And even Sean, like kind of with his sister, was so sweet, and her saying, you know, we weren't even like being really honest and being like, we weren't sure she was genuine at the beginning, but now I've never seen you so happy. That's so nice for them to hear.
And they all cry.
I know.
And Sean and his sister, I don't know if you've checked, guys, but are you twins?
I know. They look the same.
Literally.
I loved how like the mums got round it though, like in the girls all had like one friend, apart from Belle, who had her mum and her dad. But the boys, it was like, oh, it's Scott's sister, but here's also a voice note from your mum. And then like loads of them had their mums and the sister would come in as well. Like,
Here's your actual sister. Yeah.
Sean's family are clearly fans of Tommy though, because they did say to him, like, please make up with him. They just want to meet Tommy from Love Island, I think.
But I think
meet and
also,
greet.
like, if I was Sean's sister, I would watch that and be like, what are you doing? Like, Tommy's been such a good friend to you, even after everything.
Yeah.
And you're still slightly throwing him under the bus. Like, be a little bit more sympathetic towards someone. Because I think families see your frenemies first, you know? And I feel like if like your mum or sister is saying, that's your friend, usually they are your friend. You
Usually
know?
they also can smell a rat.
They can
like,
smell a
Or
rat.
your parents can always smell a rat.
So like Sean's sister saying that, I think is a big deal. And I think, you know, he should take it on board.
Definitely.
Also, he just kind of needs that like awareness, because I think he is so into Lucinda. And he's so like all about their couple and like being in this love bubble that he just kind of forgot. He's like one of, you know, when you lose your friend to a new partner and they just forget to be your friend for a second. He's just done that.
I think so,
Yeah. That's it for today. Ali and G, can we tempt you back for one final rodeo tomorrow?
Yes, you can.
Yes,
We're
you
so
can.
excited.
And don't forget, I'll be live on Monday at 8 p.m. on Instagram and TikTok from the Villa as we get ready to crown your All-Stars champion.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.